says preparing live stream. Got it.
Okay,
we're live. Hey everyone, it's Anne coming to you live with the lovely Verity, my client, who I'm here to interview and share her latest wins. Let me just quickly check that I am in fact live and in the right group. There's often a bit of a delay, isn't there?
Yeah, it does have a bit of a lag.
I'm live. Okay, cool. Hello, I am so grateful to you, Verity, for being here. For everyone watching, I would love you to introduce yourself and tell everyone who you are and a little bit about your business.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. Firstly, thank you so much for having me on here. It's great to come and chat and give everyone the opportunity to have a listen about what's been happening behind the scenes, I suppose. So I'm Verity Sewell and I live in Perth in Western Australia. And I have a business called Smart Little Space where I help product-based brands get set up on Amazon. So that's kind of been a space that I've been working in for quite a long time. And it was probably about 12 months ago, I decided that it was time to transition and do my own thing. So that's how I came to meet Anne and work with her to help me sort of grow that business.
Awesome. When did you actually start your business though? Wasn't it earlier this year?
So I left one corporate role and then I sort of transitioned about October and had a break. And then it was about January that I thought, I need to do something. And it was kind of one of those things where I don't think there was like a start date. It was sort of more, I got recommended from people to work with me. And so I sort of took on a few bits and pieces here and there. And then it sort of evolved. And I thought, oh my goodness, I need to do something like about this because I haven't got a website. It was that sort of situation. So it kind of evolved quite nicely into that space. And then it would have probably only been maybe 6 months ago that I really like put my foot down and thought, okay, it's actually time to really do something about this and put some strategy behind it and not just be flying blind, which is what I was doing, and just like hoping for some sales here and there. And like, it was actually time to make that actually happen. So it's probably 6 months ago that I really got things off the ground.
Yeah, amazing. Because I know you had some level of success before you started to work with me. I mean, you were sort of known in the industry and you had some referral clients perhaps. So how were things going at that point, like before you started working with me?
Yeah, so because I've been in the Amazon space for such a long time, I've kind of built like that network of people that I knew, but there was equally, I worked in a bit of a different space in that industry. And so I needed to network and meet other people that were in that once I'd like left that other role. So it kind of, I suppose going from that and having some success where I had clients just come to me through referral, which is really what was happening, was people said, oh, I know, this person's looking for some support. Could you help them? So there was a lot of that kind of coming through, which was great. And it validated for me that I was on the right path and I was doing something that people needed or they wanted. And it gave me a platform to test new things. So it was great from that point of view. But very quickly, I realized that there was no consistency. So I started to have those fears of, okay, well, what if something doesn't happen next month? And, like I've got this really great deal this month, but what about next one? How am I going to, make that happen? And so I think that thought started to creep in and I realized that I couldn't just keep going off referral. I actually had to put some weight behind it and figure out, how do I actually make this happen consistently? Or what's my strategy to do that? Because I was just I had a bit of an idea of what I neted to do, but I did not have a plan to make that happen. And I've learned that like, if you have no plan, you're planning to fail. So, I kind of needed to kind of find that guidance to sort of push me in the right direction.
Yeah, cool. No, and that was to my benefit. So that was awesome.
Absolutely.
I guess, because there's so much free information out there that we can sort of try and piece it all together, but essentially you end up throwing spaghetti at the wall and just hoping something sticks.
Absolutely.
And I remember, Verity, when we first started to work together, you were keen to create something high ticket. That was one of the things. You were keen to get a bit more consistency and a system sort of in place. What had you already tried up to that point? Was it?
what had
You
I tried?
created your Facebook group.
Yeah. So I think what you said before probably leads into that perfectly, that I knew kind of what I needed to do in a roundabout way. And part of that is just, you're watching other people and you're seeing how they're doing it. And so you start to get all these ideas, but really quickly you go, oh my God, there's so many things I could do. What's the right one? Or you give something a go, but because you don't really know what you're doing, you then go, oh, it didn't work. But actually you might have just missed one key thing, but you don't know that. So
Yeah.
I think that's, it becomes a bit of the problem. So I had done some things like, I had a very simple website, which is about to be relaunched. So I had put some pieces together so people could find information about me. But the biggest one for me was probably starting a Facebook group. And I think I sat on that for a while and thought, is that what I want to do? Is it going to be something that's going to take me ages? How am I going to, what am I going to do in it? Kind of, I suppose all those sorts of things started to come up. Am I just adding more, work for myself? But I thought, if I'm engaging with people, so if I'm in other groups and I'm engaging with people, or I meet other clients or people who are working with me, people actually ask, do you have a group? People ask me that. And I realized I had nowhere to send them. To put them on an email list, there's kind of not that relationship that you can really build. I thought if you send them to a website, that's not really building a relationship either. They're just finding information about you. And then the only other option for them was really to book a call and talk to me, which is what most people did. So I sort of felt like, what about all the in between? When people just want to know, they kind of want to stalk you a little bit. They want to know a little bit about you. There was nowhere for them to go. So I decided that the Facebook group really was the best place to channel those people in there and then directly talk to them. So I was really focused on trying to find people that were my niche. So product brand owners that already had products, that either, emerging product brand owners, or they were quite established and they were looking to get themselves on Amazon or grow their e-commerce platform. So they were open to that idea of growth. And so it was just a really great place to bring them in. And I started with, 50 or something. I found a few people and I said, this is the group, and how you all start. But then I've just grown it to, I think it's at 750 members now. So amazing. And I only started that 3 months ago. So that's been a real game changer. And then when I met you, I was like, this is perfect timing because, you talk a lot about that. So it just worked really nicely into that space as well.
Yeah. So you actually had quite a lot of the foundations in place. We just kind of made some tweaks and put some systems in place to create the consistency and that kind of thing. So tell me, what do you like most about where you're at now in your business?
So I think now, like I said before, I knew lots of the pieces of the puzzle, but I didn't know how to put them together. And I didn't know how to do it without feeling completely overwhelmed or getting that shiny object syndrome where you're looking around for, should I be doing something else, or should I be on here or here? And so I think now I've got a very set plan of how I want to run each month. And it's crazy how quickly the months go. Suddenly you think, oh my God, it's been 6 months, and what, where am I in my business? And I think what I've learned working with you has been that putting a plan in place that I can stick to each month and building that out in my calendar so I know what's happening and what's coming up. And it's kind of worked nicely into, now I feel like I've done some of the work, and so now I can test things and do it a little bit differently and figure out what happens. But having that plan in front of me, I'm someone that loves to have a list or something like that, but trying to create that and know that it's something that's going to actually move the needle, that's different. It's different to just adding things to your list for the sake of it. I wanted to have something where I could actually go put it into place and know that I was going to get results out of it, and know that how else can I use that information. So I apologize. It's always when I want to call every time. So right. Postman's come. So having that consistency, I think, has been a real key for me to know what's coming up, what do I need to plan for. It takes a lot of the stress away. It takes a lot of the thinking away. And then you can actually put a lot more effort into what you're actually doing, because you're not going, oh, I should have done that and it's been 3 months and I haven't. It's like, this is the time to do those things. So that's been the biggest thing for me.
Awesome. Awesome. And that's exactly what we focus on, right? Because removing the thinking. Thinking is often so much harder than the actual doing.
Yeah.
It's that waking up and thinking, what do I have to do today? What will I do today? I don't know what to do today. Whereas there's no cookie cutter solution, but once you have a plan, you kind of know exactly what it is you need to be focusing on at any point in your month.
Yeah.
So tell us, what have you been able to achieve since you started working with me? When did we start together? Was it start of August, middle of August?
I think it was, yeah. It would have been around about that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, around the first week in August or something like that.
Yeah.
So what's happened since then? Like your income, your Facebook group, the systems, the strategies, like how have things changed?
So I've definitely seen a massive growth since I started putting things in place. So with the Facebook group, I've doubled it from where it was. And that's because now I have a plan. I feel like having your plan, all the other things become strategically in alignment with those things. So now it's like, okay, these are the things I need to do to help grow that, to get the, message out there and, to really reach more women in that space. So the group has grown significantly. And my network of people that I'm talking to and reaching out to and that I have, in different spaces, that has really grown. So actually networking with a lot more people. But what I've been able to do was I did my first sort of launch into my Facebook group and I did a 5-day training. And it was like the first time I'd really done anything like this. I've been part of lots of things like this, but it's so different when you do it yourself. And so I was able to, because I had some of the foundation already in place, so I had my group and things like that, I could very quickly jump in and start that. So I did that and that was amazing. That was a really good experience. It was like rip it off like a Band-Aid because you've just got to do it. And now I'm about to do a different kind of one. And I've learned so much about what worked, what didn't work, and what I want to do. So I did that and I had a really high amount of signups to register their interest for it. So I think I end up with about, I'd have to go back and have a look. I probably could tell you, but I had about 100 people registered their interest in, and then I pulled all those people in. And I knew that not everyone would attend. So I did it over the 5 days and I started off seeing like really high results. And then you obviously see it sort of dip off as people, goes through the week. And I got a high amount of views, like people actually on the live. So that was really impressive because I thought, what if no one turns up? I thought, it doesn't matter. This is just a learning experience. If I don't get anyone there, you just don't know who's watching. And that's been a big thing for me to learn, is that it's amazing who's watching you, which you don't think that because you feel like they're, sitting behind a computer, but people are waiting to hear from you. And if you don't show up and offer what you have on the table, you're not giving away the gift that they really want to receive. Like those people want to hear from you. And it's the same with selling. Like I would be like, oh, is this going to be strange? But if you don't sell, I've got people that said, I was waiting for you to tell us what we could buy from you.
Yeah.
So you're actually stopping that happening if you think about your own ego really when you do those things. So that went really well. And so after that, I had offered my high ticket offer and I do coaching and I have a high ticket offer. So I ended up afterwards had 2 people wanted to do coaching with me and a high ticket sale. So that got me to $9,000 US for that one launch. And that's the first time a lot of people have actually heard from me. So, people might have seen me put things up or bits and pieces, or they found me on Instagram or something like that. But this was the first time really people had fully heard from me unless they were part of a workshop previously. So, I know when I go to do my next launches coming up that there are people that have heard from me and they're going to want to hear from me again and again and again, and that's how I met Anne, because I was one of those quiet people that listened and I just sat in the background and listened and was like, this is exactly what I'm thinking. This is, I love your energy, like all those things that draw you to someone. That's what I realized people are listening, for. So when they hear that, they are going to come in and go, yeah, that's for me. And that's what happened. I had someone that decided to sign up to my high ticket offer, so to my like course and coaching program. And I put up a post about a week after. And that's probably something I thought in my mind, I thought, okay, I'm going to do a launch and then immediately people are going to buy from me. But thing is with high ticket is that they want to build that relationship further. And so I realized that sometimes those sales come in at the weirdest times, you know. So I've actually put a post up about something, and this person who I'd been talking to came back and said, yeah, this is the right time for me. You know, so, and I was like, oh, I didn't think that post would, you know, have that reaction. But you just don't know when those things are going to come through. You don't know if someone's waiting for something to decide to go ahead. You know, like sometimes people are waiting for something to finish before they do the next thing. You just don't know. So you know, you just kind of got to let it flow, do it, and just kind of go with it afterwards and see what happens. But it definitely proved a point to myself. And then I feel a lot more confident going to the next thing and, you know, going forward with it.
Yeah, you did amazing. I mean, credit where credit's due. Right from the start, you were like a sponge. You know, we discussed options. You chose what would work for you and your lifestyle. And then you just implemented. You let your ego, you put your ego aside and you just went all in. And that's, you know, as a coach, I can only do so much, right? Because it's a partnership. You've got to do your part, and you more than did your part. And then, you know, even like exactly like you said, you do your launch. So you build up all this momentum. You brought all these people into your group. You did your launch, and then you had some sales calls. But you didn't quite get some of them across the line, because I think what you discovered, Verity, and correct me if I'm wrong, selling to a referral network compared to selling to someone who's new to your world was going to be slightly different. And you had to sort of take that call, have that, it was a different conversation, right?
Yeah, it was a different conversation because, you know, I have people that have heard from me before, and so they're like, I don't even need to talk to you. I just want to work with you, right? And that does happen even if they don't know you, but you do have to really talk to them on another level to get them to understand where they're at, and to make sure, for me, it's like making sure that the right fit, their business fits what we're going to do, if it's the right thing for them or not. You know, that's also just as important. So it was a different experience in terms of selling. And so I learned a lot from that. Like I did a couple, and that was fantastic. Like just getting on there and having a chat and just like having a conversation really, but realizing that I needed a lot more structure to that, and coming back and going, okay, I probably was a little bit loose and maybe I didn't guide it the right way that I needed to. Just things like that, you know, just even things that I did in the first launch that now I go, oh, I probably do that differently, or you know, maybe I should test this next time, or maybe I should say this next time, or I probably didn't push that enough, you know, but you can't see when you're in it. So I think, you know, you give it a go. And like what you just said, you can't, it's not about you and doing anything for me. It's about you guiding me in the right direction. I just needed someone to pull it all together and say, this is where you're at, move past your fears of things, you know, just like little things that you get in your head, you know, like what if one person signs up and then this happens and then this happens, and then what am I going to do with, like, we come up with things to just like look after ourselves. But you know, having someone like you there helps so much to just go, leave it alone. It's you know, that's actually not a problem, and you go, oh okay, then it's like we need that validation along the way. So definitely, like the next time that I'm talking on sales calls and things like that, I'll have a lot more structure, because I now know kind of where I left some of those gaps in there, and actually, you know, working out that I probably didn't provide the information that person needed. You know, that's actually what was happening. Even though we can all feel a bit icky about sales at times, it was actually that I didn't give them some of the information that they needed to know. I thought I did, but when I look back, I'm like, I've actually not done it in a way that would help them. So it's all learning.
Massive learning. And that's the thing, right? You know, and it was your first launch, which resulted in $9,000. You've learned so much more about sales. You've learned so much more about lead generation. You've learned so much more even about the delivery of your 5 days and what worked and what didn't work. You've learned so much more about how to repurpose that and, you know, your next launch, I
yeah.
can't wait. It's just going to be so much better because you took imperfect action.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
and that's the thing, which is where we have to start from. We just have to start, and then it only gets to improve from that point. And you rinse and repeat and tweak and adjust rather than changing everything. You just tweak and adjust to improve, which
I think it's actually more fun the second time around because I'm about to do another launch. And so it's kind of, I've realized, wow, this is so much easier this time because I've got the foundation there. Now I just need to tweak it to fit what I'm going to do for the next thing. And so, you know, I can sort of be a bit more creative with it, or how I'm going to test it. I know things like what was the best day that people view things in my group. So like I've actually worked out a lot of that. But it just becomes a little bit more fun because you're more confident putting that out there and putting that news out there about what's happening. But yeah, it's amazing what we come up in our head to kind of stop us doing things like are they going to think that I've already told them this? But remembering, you know, like I've got all these new people, they've not heard from me yet. So you kind of always focus on that fact that you're almost delivering to all the new people, not always to all the existing, even though I know a lot of them are watching and waiting for the next thing.
So many people are on the fence. I have no doubt, like for you and for me, right? Because people are watching us all the time. And it's when we unplug and when we completely change what we're doing and think what we're doing is not working and go off and try something, you know, the next shiny object. That's when those people never get off the fence because you leave them confused.
Yes.
They're like, oh, what's she doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
I thought she was doing this.
Yeah.
And
people just are like sort of, I think they're just waiting for this sort of moment sometimes. And, you know, they're just sort of like whatever that might be. Like there could be anything for anyone. And you've just got to remember to keep showing up, to keep being consistent. You know, I think we all have probably had those experiences where we've seen people online and we've seen them everywhere. And then when we think back, we go, we haven't seen it for a while. Or suddenly they show up 6 months later and we go, God, I haven't seen that person for ages. And that's actually what happens. So you've got to remember, like, even if you feel like you're just consistently there, not everyone else notices that. They don't always realize that. So you just want to keep being there as a reminder because you don't know the timing for someone when it is the right thing for them, what they want to do, what's the next step for them. So, you know, you've just got to kind of have that plan in place. But I think planning it out, like I now know what I need to do for the next 12 months. Like that's how it feels. And you know, it's such a weight off the shoulders going, just if I do nothing else, don't do anything else but this one thing, and I did that every single month, like where would I be? You know, I've got to ask myself that and go, that's a really nice place to be in business.
And that's just the baseline, right? Because you can do so many other different things as well on top. Again, it's about creating that lifestyle business or whatever you choose, because some people are happy to work 40 or 50 hours. But if you want to keep business simple, that's possible too. And you know, because there are other women in our mastermind, not everyone's doing launches. And that's fine too, right? It's whatever kind of works for you and your lifestyle and your business and so on. So I'd love to ask you, Verity, what would you say to someone who is on the fence?
I think you've just got to stop and think, where are you at? Are you ready for that commitment? So the first thing to think is, because if you're on the fence and you hear something like this and you go, I'm going to do it. I'm going to work with Anne, you know, but you're not ready, or you're so overwhelmed in busyness and stuff, you're not going to have the time to just take a deep breath and implement. And the difference with what happened with me was that I came in and I was like, I'm investing in Anne. I want to know what she knows, and I'm going to put everything into this thing, like it, and give it 100%, and then see where we're at. Right? That was like my attitude towards it. And so I gave myself some space to do that. Like I actually cleared some projects so that I could go, I'm going to put one thing down and move to the next. And that it can be a scary thing, but it gave me that space. So if you're thinking about, you're sitting on the fence at the moment, make sure you've got that space and energy to come in and do something new, because you will have more success at the end of it. But if you're, you know, thinking, what should I do? Just get on a call. Just talk to Anne. Just have a conversation. Like you're not being forced, you know, to do anything, but have that conversation to see, does it actually fit your business first? Because you could call Anne and she says, look, I think these would be some suggestions for you now, and then come and talk to me, so just get on that call and have a chat and see, where you're at. If you're someone like me, which I was like, I'm going to do this, so I just got on the call, like, sign me up, then, definitely make that move, because what you're not doing at the moment is you are just leaving money on the table. You're not moving the needle forward. And so if I was still sitting on the fence now and I left it a couple more months, imagine how much from a financial point of view I would have lost by not doing any of it. I would have just let all of that go. So, from that financial point of view, I've gained a lot, but also for my own learning and my own development and where I'm at, that's probably been the biggest thing that I've gained, is just that confidence to know, to have someone standing behind me to say, you don't need to worry about that. This is another strategy. That is really empowering when you're working myself as well, to have that. So have a chat to Anne if you're thinking about it. If you don't want to talk to her, send her a message, send her a DM. Like, that's what we were doing. I didn't just say, give me your phone number, I'm going to give you a call. Like, I was just, we were talking on Messenger. So I already knew that was something that I wanted to do. So I just jumped in because I wanted the result. I wanted that quicker.
And you doubled your return on investment in about 5 weeks.
Yeah.
You made your money back and doubled it in 5 weeks. Yeah, which is the goal, right? That's what I want for all my clients. Some people take a little bit longer, but thank you. I am so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you're in my world and that you chose me to be your coach, and for doing this interview so other people can hear about your success and ours together. And I'd love you to just share because I know in our Women and Helping Women Entrepreneurs group, there are all sorts of beautiful women, including product businesses and people who are considering Amazon and e-commerce and so many other things. How can they work with you? How can they find you? How can they follow you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, firstly, thank you for helping me along the journey. I really think that, like you always say, you could probably pick up the pieces along the way, but I would never have got to where I'm at now. I'd still be trying to figure it out. So thank you for helping me to do that. And anyone that's thinking about it, definitely jump in and do it. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm about to do a boot camp, which is starting next week, inside my Facebook group. So this is for product brand owners. So if you have a product brand that you sell in retail or on your website, something like that, then this is definitely for you. And we're talking about how do you get your product-based brands set up on Amazon. So we've got 3-day boot camp that's coming up. It will start on Monday. So if you want to join that, you can find me in the Facebook group. I don't know, we might put a link below. It might be.
We'll add a link. Yeah.
We'll add a link below so you can find it. And if you want to find me in other places, I'm on Instagram as Smart Little Space, which is my business. Or you can find me on my website, smartlittlespace.com. And the website's about to be relaunched. So that's some exciting stuff coming up that we'll have as well. So, but the place that I'm most active is in the Facebook group. So you can reach out, you can connect with other people, and you can be part of the boot camp, and things that are coming up and different events that we have. And you just learn all those little tips about what you should do if you're thinking about setting up on Amazon. So that's probably the best place to find me if you want to say hi or send me a DM.
Well, Well, we'll share your link in the comments. I just wanted to share with you, there's a few people who've been watching us and they've said it's very inspiring and they absolutely love it. And so well done on your success. Well done for showing up and doing the work. And thank you for choosing me to be your coach. And thank you for being here and sharing your story. And if anyone has any questions, if you're catching the replay or at any point, just don't hesitate to ask them in the comments, and either Verity or I will answer them later. Thank you again.
No worries.
I'll let you go because I know you've got a lot going on as well in your business. So you're very welcome. Thank you. Bye.
No worries. Bye.